So there you have it, my dream for a potential Legend of Zelda Park expansion to Super Nintendo World.
Oh man, this is good stuff. Kinda makes me want to pitch some concepts of my own.
Added to a Zelda land, but also what series you want me to cover next. This could literally be anything from Pokémon to Metroid.
Literally anything. Shoot, why not everything?
Alright, I'm down.
Wait, you can hear me?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Let's say we do it together.
Well, okay, great.
Great, this'll be fun.
Oh,
Just
you?
Gotta get,
Oh, you okay?
Yeah,
You
I got it.
it?
I do it all. I do this all the time.
You need a hand or anything? I can. No,
no.
No,
Yes.
looks like
yeah,
you got it. Cool.
Oof.
Cool. Good.
Easy.
Awesome. Nice to have you.
Thanks.
I wouldn't call myself a theme park aficionado, but I have been involved in theater, live entertainment, and have even worked at theme parks and related venues for the better part of my whole life at this point. So as someone who, I guess I'd say, gets theme parks, and is a big old Nintendo nerd, pondering what ways Nintendo could expand their theme park presence at Universal Studios beyond Mario and Donkey Kong is something I am eager to do here for you. Alongside my very creative and isoscelesian guest, Try.
Hi, it feels good to be here. I'll take any opportunity I can to chat theme parks and Nintendo in the same breath. I also love what you've done with the place. It's very tidy.
Try and I have each devised a list of 5 Nintendo attractions we'd like to see, regardless of how feasible, likely, or otherwise they may or may not be. I suppose there's really nothing left to do now, but get into it.
Well, I kind of forgot my list back there, and crawling sounded fun. Why don't you go first so I can get myself figured out?
I gave an overview of this pitch in my Nintendo's 50 Most Important Franchises video. Now here's my chance to get into some more particulars. I picture the WarioWare arcade to be somewhat similar to Disneyland's Innoventions, only less sprawling. Or on the other hand, I imagine it to be very similar to a Chuck E. Cheese, only more sprawling. In essence, a high-end themed arcade and technology showcase. Nintendo have a long history of arcade machines. Heck, they still have some modern ones out in the wild today. And this could be a good venue not only to consolidate a good number of them under one roof, but possibly even develop some real out-there experiences exclusive to this location. Could you imagine a drag and drive arcade game where you use an actual wheelchair with 40 elements in the style of Arctic Thunder? Could seriously redeem the whole experience for me. And of course, this place would have to be Wario themed because he's Nintendo's most game development adjacent mascot. Plus, the extended WarioWare cast slot in perfectly to fill other roles to flesh out the arcade establishment. Mona Pizza would be the perfect place to get food and drink. Karaoke, hosted by Penny Krygor with machines that look like Mike, would be stellar. A dance floor themed after Club Sugar, where costumed characters like Jimmy T, Dribble and Spitz, and even Wario himself occasionally come out to lead line dances, would certainly inject a lot of life into the place. And of course, we need big pink noses with scraggly black mustaches in as much of the architecture as we can manage. If roller coasters and the Florida humidity make you feel rotten, get cool at Wario's WarioWare Arcade.
Alright, I got my list. Now let's look at what I wrote down first. Get sucked up by Kirby. Is that a ride? I don't know what I was thinking when Oh yeah. If you've ever been to the Disney parks and found yourself in Fantasyland, you'll know it's surrounded by storybook tales and that sweet, sweet bromine smell that accompanies the dark rides we hold near and dear to our hearts. A Kirby dark ride would be a great attraction for all ages, and I think it could start with a giant Kirby sucking you up just like the whale in Storybook Land or the watermelon in Heimlich's Choo Choo Train, may it rest in peace. Go through various Kirby scenes and set pieces such as seeing Wispy Woods, Meta Knight, or King Dedede in their natural habitats. Each room could be a nod to a different Kirby game, and it could end with Kirby spitting you back out into civilization. Obviously, you'd be accompanied by the whimsical music that this series is known for. I've been working Halloween haunts every year since I turned 18. And the day it was announced Nintendo was bringing their IP to Universal Studios, I said to myself, dude, a Metroid maze for Hollywood Horror Nights is too perfect of an idea to pass up. Seriously, think about it. Metroid games have very maze-like design. Pop-up mazes are a major hallmark of Horror Nights.
Metroid is also one of Nintendo's more viscerally horrific universes. You see the vision, don't you? I'm imagining the facade at the entrance would be a Federation ship. Once enough guests are inside, the mechanical doors would close, alarms would blare indicating something went wrong, and guests would end up transported to Planet Zebes. It'd be dark and gloomy, suspenseful sound design mixed with animatronic monsters like screes, sidehoppers, and choots populating the place would contribute to the spooky atmosphere. Scare actors would play Chorizo, space pirates, and even Federation troopers getting jumped by the monsters in their attempts to save the guests. One absolute necessity to really make this maze a banger would be a room toward the end dedicated to encountering a huge, practical puppet of an iconic Metroid boss. Whether it's Kraid, Ridley, Mother Brain, whoever, if it has the same or more effort put into it as the Xanathar puppet they commissioned from the Jim Henson Company for FanFest 2025, it'd be a dream and a nightmare come true. As for a narrative throughline, aside from the whole guests weren't supposed to end up on Zebe's shtick, I'd say placing Samus throughout segments of the maze and having her and the guests eventually be rescued by the baby Metroid would be a fitting wraparound. Truth be told, I've never attended a Horror Nights haunt before, but if they include a Metroid maze, not only will I go, I'd probably audition to be a puppet operator. This is bucket list level stuff I'm dreaming up here.
Surprising to some and unsurprisingly to Nintendo diehards, but Luigi's Mansion is now a staple Nintendo IP. And when you have a staple, you need to represent it. I think a legit mansion that you could walk through could be a super fun attraction that doesn't require waiting in lines. The Swiss Family Treehouse, formerly Tarzan's Treehouse, and formerly the Swiss Family Treehouse, is a good example of what I'm thinking. Just an area to soak in the sights and sounds. I think having Easter eggs from the game and including cool things like ghost projections would be a great way to make it engaging and entertaining. You might be saying, try. The Haunted Mansion is right there, why not just make it a ride? Well, sometimes it's nice to walk through an experience rather than be taken through it. I always wished I could walk the ballroom floor of the Haunted Mansion. With Luigi's Mansion, I can. If I want to sit and stare at Mr. Lugs while he eats his food, by golly, I'm gonna do it. Nintendo loves their gamification, and maybe there's an opportunity to play some vacuum mini games throughout the mansion. How they'd work? No idea, but they could do it. Once you're finished with your walkthrough, you can visit Professor Egad at his Starbeans Cafe, where you can be warmed up via hot beverage, juxtaposed with the chilling mansion you just came from.
There's a Discovery Cube location in Orange County, California, that has a whole outdoor play area themed around dinosaurs. I would essentially want a dedicated little Pikmin area to do much of the same thing. Instead of a jungle gym shaped like an Apatosaurus, shape it like a Bulborb. Instead of interactive displays of fossils and such, display Pikmin items like pellets, an onion, Pikmin sprouts. And if this play area is in a theme park location, set up some snack carts nearby themed after Louie. Too perfect. Come to think of it, product placement would be really easy to get away with in an area like this. Attractions need sponsors.
So I mentioned it a bit before, but Nintendo loves their gamification. They're a dang game company for goodness sake, and one of my favorite rides at California Adventure is Toy Story Mania. Now let's sit and think for a minute. What Nintendo IP has mini games you can play with 2 to 4 players? If you said WarioWare, that's not what I was thinking at all. It's Mario Party. I love Toy Story Mania in part because of its presentation. Yeah, the focus is the screens and the games, but if you take a step back, you realize that you're basically toys playing all these games in Andy's room. And when you leave the attraction, you literally walk out of his bedroom. It's such a cool little ambiance detail that makes me appreciate the ride that much more. Mario Party has plenty of maps, and I think each screen you rotate to could represent a different popular map, and you could see physical set pieces, like a cactus to represent a desert map, or a giant fruit or something. Maybe you play 5 or 6 different mini games and earn stars based on performance. I don't think just one person should earn a star, so maybe it's like the coin mini games where it's just based on who earns the most coins. I think this would be a hit.
I am well aware this is a massive pipe dream and has little to no shot of actually materializing, but just imagine how awesome it would be. Matching pace at extreme speeds on coasters made to look exactly like F-Zero machines, while a new medley arrangement of the series' most rocking hits blare on the speakers. And imagine getting to see and hear from F-Zero pilots in the waiting queue. That would be a ton of fun, wouldn't it? Ooh, and so would seeing the pilots walk around at Islands of Adventure for meet and greets. Falcon and Friends would fit right in with the likes of Universal's 90s era Marvel heroes, but I seem to have gone off track. No pun intended.
Back in the year 2019, Nintendo kind of flexed their amusement park set-piece muscles with an Animal Crossing area that included trees, a campsite, and characters to do meet and greets with. I don't have much else to say besides, Nintendo, do that again, but, make it bigger and able to hold more capacity. Having scheduled showtimes to hear KK Slider perform would be so freaking cool. Other than that, I'd want to hear Animal Crossing music in this space. It's some of my favorite music in games, and I'd love to have it envelop me. But just being able to live in and experience Animal Crossing in real life would make so many dreams, mine included, come true.
Yeah, you're watching an A Talking Sock video. ARMS was gonna get brought up eventually. I love this world, its characters, its world building, its music, etc, etc. I'd be happy if they just got mugs in the gift shops. But as for an attraction that tracks neatly onto the IP's unction, I think setting up some carnival games at a park's boardwalk area would be most apropos. You could have the classic strength test with a whammer that ranks the ascending strength measurements as ARMS fighters. You could have a ring toss where you try to land chakrams and ramrams on pegs shaped like helix. You could even go really out of the box with something like a 4D screen target shooting game where each player has 2 punching bags set up for each of their arms, and the hit points on said punching bags are super precise, so hitting them at particular angles with measured power dictates where the 4D punches on the screens go. Or I guess you could just use Joy-Cons instead of having a whole intricate punching bag system, I don't know. Games like this might be a good fit for the Wario arcade, come to think of it, but I think I'd prefer ARMS Carnival games to get their own standalone little corner of the park for no other reason than to name it Bites Penny Barkade. Again, I know this is likely never happening, but can't a sock dream?
A ride I've never been on but plan to in the future is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. It's a really inventive ride that utilizes screens and a cool arm vehicle that could rotate in different directions. It also uses a good mix of screens and real set pieces or animatronics to take you through the experience. I think Starfox would be amazing with this system in mind. I think it'd be really cool if you were a brand new Starfox pilot and got to fly alongside Fox, Falco, Slippy, and Peppy. Obviously, you'd do a barrel roll at some point on this ride. I think it'd be a fun way to start it, to get you excited about the potential of the ride and what it can do. Travel through different planets, taking on big bads from the series, making tight turns and drops to lose those bogeys on your tail. It could end with a really cool Andross fight where you see a giant physical Andross head and maybe you blow it up or ride right through it or some crazy climactic sequence. Because you're in space, it kinda works out really well for hiding things like the track or other things that don't want to be seen. This is definitely the e-ticket attraction I would want to see at a Nintendo theme park. And that about does it for my list.
Nothing quite like intricately explaining an implausible daydream, and I'm always happy to do it with a friend. I don't suppose you'd want to do this again sometime, on your channel perhaps?
Oh, that's a great idea. So great, in fact, we already did it. If you go to my channel, you can check out our video talking about what we want to see from a Pokemon theme park.
That's right, folks. Give our other collab on ideas for a Pokemon theme park on Try's channel a watch, why don't ya? And until next time, we'll see you the next time we see you. Bye-bye.